Alright, today I want to do something a little different. Maybe I should like have a plan, a schedule for days I'm gonna do certain things. If I'm gonna be doing this every day. I wish that it was connected. So, I kind of wanted to do some Android today, to be honest. Let me just see if I can find some screencasting software. The problem is I'm gonna have so many notifications. This is way more than I would want it to. I didn't get any notification. Oh, that's crazy. It's actually clicking right now. It's just not showing the screen. Is it maybe a permission issue? Close this. Advanced option visor. Okay. I got this. So, what are we doing right now? just let me verify what stands for. Kotlin Multiplatform Mobile. Okay, got the order wrong. That's fine. Alright, cool. Let's do it. Good morning, Zuha. How's it going? We're just getting a little crazy here. So, don't mind me. See this right? Okay. I'm wondering if I should go into some kind of airplane mode so I don't get notifications, but that sounds dangerous. But yeah, I'm trying to build a health and fitness app for fun and for educational purpose, and maybe something interesting can be done with it. This is what I got so far. Okay, so I'm gonna have to, I'm not like too well versed on KMM, so I'm gonna do a lot of searches for things. But yeah, let's see. I just want to know how people generally do avatars. So I want to make this an avatar. So the top app bar, navigation icon. I think Jetpack proposed avatar example. So drawing. Okay, actually that might be interesting. It's interesting. Let's look at a few other examples. So this is the code that I'm looking at. I think we shouldn't have to import that anymore. And then there's this one. Import that, import that, import that. Just import everything that needs to be. just a annotation error maybe. Because I imported the wrong thing. Yep, for sure. Let's try to import the right thing here. Okay, and then all we need is the ID, first name, last name. I'll just put it here and just say, what's it called? User head. First name is Logan. Last name. Murphy. Cool. Not too bad. And so basically I want to put that take it from here. And is there any way I could put it into here? Probably make it smaller. Actually, 40 is fine. I think 40 is fine. And I think we'll add a drawer. Building an app, that's right. Building an Android mobile app. Just for fun. Unless of course something happens with it. Just like trying to develop some ideas on like good practices for mobile development. Like what does a good mobile app look like? Okay, so I want a drawer. Interesting. Okay. So I think we want it to kind of go like this. We'll do composable drawer. Do this. I guess this needs to be a function. We just to say content is in it. And I guess this is composable. We'll try that, and then we'll see. Can we just do drawer and then put the scaffold inside of that? I do use capital letters, so I'll use capital letters as well. What is this horizontal divider? Let's get rid of it. Okay, then we need gestures enabled, drawer content, control the behavior. So we want to open the drawer. If we click on this head, so we want to say, excuse me, drawer state dot open, and this is what needs to be in a coroutine. So we have to just say. Coroutine scope. I'm gonna say scope dot launch. This is the format button. Nice. All right, let's see what happens. That didn't work. Oh, because I didn't use it. What to do? Drawer state. Drawer state. Refresh. Okay, but I can't swipe from the left. At least not from there. I guess it's fine. Okay. So I think for the drawer, I want to show like the full username and their image. So let's start doing things separately. We'll do fun for content. Okay, and then we're going to do a much bigger head. That's what I'm thinking, at least. This would be like Megan Murphy. That'd be a user head. ID, it doesn't matter. Size equals 100. And we'll say we do have the text already. We probably want the text to be center aligned. So we'll say fill max width dot align alignment center horizontally. Hopefully that's right. try to simplify this and just do maybe that. Maybe we get away with that. What tech stack am I using? This is, the language of Android is Kotlin, which is JVM. But the backend's probably not going to be for a while. The backend is, I'm probably going to build it in Astro though. Very likely. Okay, so we want these both to be center aligned. So maybe this goes into a stack. No, a column. And then we probably don't need this anymore. And what we'll do instead is figure out how things get aligned in here. Horizontal alignment. I kind of want the drawer to be smaller though. Just a little too wide for my taste. That's not what I wanted to do. I wonder if we could do number since March 2025. But yeah, I haven't decided really which framework I'm going to use on the back end. So if you have any recommendations or any preferences, we could try to target that. So what do we use for the user head? Material theme. Got it. How do they use the ID? Is that how they create the HSL? It is. Like a really weird algorithm. I think in addition to making this bigger, alright, so let's do this. Title small. Let's be title large. Oh my gosh. This will be small, medium. This will be small. You're not happy. what did we call it? Text style? Okay, looks better. So what we want to do, don't call this a title, I think. So where's the column? So we want to do, yeah, vertical arrangement dot space by 8.dp. And then don't make this as title. This is just something small. Maybe that looks good. And then what we want to do is do modifier. There's a modifier dot fill max width. I think we want to add some padding to it. Did we do that for anything else? No. We'll do 16.pp. Refresh. Okay, that looks better. Okay. Cool. I'm mostly happy with that. Do you believe in working overtime or being on call? If you're getting paid for overtime, then I believe in it. I don't think that, even though like for tech you're usually given a salary, I don't think that means you work forever. You should still, like, your employer, both your employer and you should have some respect for your personal life and your boundaries. So, like, unless you're having like a really good time, really fun, like actually, I'm not just saying it. I don't think that it's necessary or a good idea to overtime. And being on call, I feel like I think that like you kind of have to, there's a world in which that doesn't exist for a company. And I believe that like if you set up your systems correctly, that being on call is not that big of a deal. I think like being on call is, there's this idea of being on call is just like, it's kind of sometimes made a bigger deal of than it should be. Because in all honesty, like people shouldn't be releasing bad code. If no one's releasing bad code, that eliminates like 90% of the need for on-call. But yes, you usually need some kind of human intervention at some point if something goes wrong with your architecture, your infrastructure. So in that regard, yeah, on-call is important, but like it shouldn't be stressful. I don't think on-call should be stressful. And I feel like that's what it is a lot. If it's stressful, I think it's being done wrong. Either you don't have like the right safety, or you don't have the right infrastructure. I'm trying to determine if I want to do anything else. I'm wondering if I should do the padding a little bit differently. Because I kind of don't want this big gap here. I want the gap above to be bigger. So I'm wondering if I should just, is there a padding bottom? So there's a horizontal, vertical, all start top, left, and bottom. And so what I think I really want is just the bottom. No, I only want the top, sorry. There is a reason I don't use React Native. It's slow. I don't like the look of it. I don't like the feel of it. It doesn't feel native. It doesn't feel, it feels like it feels like when you make something, it's kind of hot glued together, because like there's no, I've never felt like there's a true standard libraries that you can rely on. And so you just kind of have to jump, it gives you this illusion that it's going to be easier to develop and things are going to be faster and nicer. But in actuality, you have to jump through so many loops, so many hoops, just to get what you want done. So it's actually a little frustrating to use. I mean, granted, I used it like five years ago maybe, but it's just like, it never felt native enough. It never felt fast enough. It never felt fun enough. It never felt like it was worth it to me. And I know that like other apps have found success doing it that way, but KMM is much closer to native because you get truly native UI. I think you kind of fall into this trap using React Native. You fall into this trap of using the same UI for Android as you do iOS. But for those two operating systems, the UI should not look the same. And I know that you can write conditions to do different things, but you're still not going to get truly native components without importing all these different libraries. That just makes the memory, it takes up so much memory, it slows it down. And like if you want to do native things, trying to hook into the native APIs is harder. So it's just like overall not a great experience to me. Now, if you're like trying to get a product to market very quickly, multi-platform, sure you could consider it, but KMM does it too. KMM has the potential for you to reuse code between Android and iOS. What does native mean? So to me, native is like when I use column here, this is like something that the phone knows what it does. All these things here, it's like the phone knows exactly how to work with this code, right? And so the phone will be like, oh, you want a modal drawer sheet? Oh, okay, I have a component. I have exactly the component for that. I know exactly how to draw that. I know the exact criteria. I know how users should interact with that. It knows all these details. It's programmed into the phone as it is, right? But let's say I wanted to. Can I bring it in here? No. Give me a second. Let's take a look at some options here. Let's say I want to do React Native Drawer. Okay, so there's this React Native link. There's this npm link. There's the expo. My intuition tells me to pick the first thing. And this what's happening here is already different from what happens natively. Okay, so like if we were to compare this to what's happening in a native phone, right? So this area stays here. You click on this, it just gets covered. You can see that this is actually being pushed over, which is, I mean, it looks nice in this example, but you have to import this entire library. Okay, so that's a whole bunch of TypeScript code that you need to get, a whole bunch of Android code that you need to get. There's like some kind of linking that needs to occur. And like when you're writing all of this code, this is all TypeScript, right? Then that TypeScript needs to be compiled. Obviously you need to store it into the binaries. And when you end up executing it, it actually is like going back and forth from like this JavaScript interface back to the Android interface. And yeah, maybe under the hood, the Android is using native UI, but like the layer that it's going through, which is TypeScript, is a little bit slower. And if you needed to use like an API that might be a little niche or some canvas, you might have a little bit trouble, because then you have to figure out, well, I don't want to learn iOS, I don't want to learn Android, but now you have to. And then at that point, you might as well just do it all in iOS, Android. It's kind of my hot take, but. So let's see the concepts here. They have used navigation, which is similar to what we did. Where's the actual drawer? So they have this drawer here, create drawer navigator. That's the drawer. It has two screens. And I'm guessing that's just because they both share the same drawer. That's my guess. But like you can't escape this. This is an inflexibility to me. Suddenly you're locked into this idea of, well, I need to keep all my screens in this drawer. Where maybe you don't want to do that. Static drawer. Wait, you find a library and you have to use that library exactly the way that they tell you to use it. And if you don't like it, then you have to find a different library. Or you have to find a different library. Eventually you might not find a library you even like. It might not work the way you want. It might not be nice. And I think in general, like iOS, okay, so you're like, okay, drawers, cool. But it's not the same kind. Let me see if I can see an image. So this is like, at least what I've been told, this is kind of frowned upon. A drawer like this is kind of frowned upon in iOS world. This is an Android drawer. But in iOS land, this is a proper drawer coming from the bottom and covering things. And so the UI is completely different. So you don't want to be on an iOS and feel like you're on an Android, and you don't want to be on an Android and feel like you're on iOS. And so to me, like, using the UI that's built for that operating system is ideal. And to me, native is like, you're talking directly to the computer. That's what I mean by like really native. Excuse me. What happens with React is you're running TypeScript. The TypeScript is then talking to the operating system rather than you talking directly to the operating system. So it's native versus non-native. hope that explains. Again, like my reasoning for not using React Native, you know, it might not be compelling to other people. Other people care about how quickly you can develop, and I think that React Native lets you develop quickly, but I don't agree with that. And then you get all the way to the end, you find out it's actually not even that good looking, it's not that performant, and you have to do it all over anyway in a more native approach. Otherwise, it just feels bad. And I will say it is better than like web views. At least it's better than web views. So there's like tiers. I would say web views is like very, very low tier, feels very cheap, feels very unstable, not very non-native. And that's like, to me, that's even worse. Because you have this whole HTML layer, you have the CSS layer, you have the JavaScript layer, and they're all not really talking directly to the OS. They're like talking to a browser, then that browser's talking to the OS. And so you're kind of now separated by two layers. And you just have like what's a browser experience in what's supposed to be a native mobile app. But yeah. I do think KMM is a really good solution though, and there is a way, there are options so that you can write the UI once, but I just don't agree with doing UI once for mobile. But yeah, that's all I'll say about it. Let's see if I can pull everything back up. I would like to make the drawer less wide. Oh, you can make this part of the scaffold? Why didn't they just tell me that? See, the scaffold is pretty powerful. Okay, JK. It doesn't actually have it, someone lied. I wonder if possibly it could be accessed later. Okay. Okay, so maybe we set the width of the sheet then. So I'll say modifier. That's not right. Fire dot width is 100 dp. You don't want your views to be too wide. It looks unnatural. Right, so 240. Let's try that. That looks much better to me. We gotta think about like different screen sizes that we might end up having. Think about the fact that these are touching each other, and that's not ideal to me. So let's try to resolve some of those issues. And now we can say padding top, and then we can say horizontal, hopefully? No, we can't. we say start equals 16.dp and equals 16.dp. So get any formatting. Cool. Refresh. I just don't want this touching the walls. This is preferable to me. It's not, no one's touching, they're not touching each other. It's much nicer. Okay, I wonder what other smalls we have? Maybe it's just body small. We could try that. It feels like it's bold and I don't want it to be bold. Excuse me. Alright, well. That's probably the best we get. Okay, so what are some things we might want here? We want account. We might want settings. Maybe we want like, I don't know, history. Maybe that's part of the account though. I don't know. Even settings could be part of the account, potentially. Does this have an icon? It does. And so for account, let's do icon, remember, vector painter, and then how do we do icons? Icons dot filled dot that's the one. And then we want the content description. Just to match things up, make things even. Let's say that this is settings. Settings. This is a comma. We'll format it, save it. We'll rerun it. Do your fingers or hands? Yes, they do. That's why I'm constantly stretching. I jacked my wrists up programming using a Mac mouse trackpad, using a trackpad from a Mac. Just all the twitchy, and now my wrists are jacked. So I do this stretch to try to open it up. I'll try to pull the thumb to stretch that. And it helps. And then I do it. Then I feel the pain again. Then I gotta do it like every 30 to 60 minutes. It's a little uncomfortable. So it's like that's probably why it's like I would prefer to be able to code with my voice and just talk to an AI, have the AI do most of the work for me. That way I don't have to stress my wrists out too much. Plus it would potentially do the work faster. I don't like how much space there is between these. There's only 8 though. But I wonder if we should put this in its own column, just so that these aren't spaced out differently. Yep, thank you. And maybe that spacing will look better. I just want them to be a little bit closer. That's like the best we could do. It's fine. If that's the best we could do, then that's the best we could do. Actually, maybe, I'm curious. Is there maybe a default space by? If you go back, is there anything you did differently to better protect your fingers' wrists? Yeah, for sure, 100%. I would have gotten this mouse sooner, for sure. It's go vertical mouse. Instead of my wrist is more, it's more like this, it's more neutral when I'm on it rather than like this, because this is kind of unnatural. It's a little weird using it at first, but I would definitely get a mouse like this, for sure. A more ergonomic keyboard that's better shaped, like more triangular shaped, so that your wrists, again, are more like this rather than this. And just stretching them. Not using trackpads, for sure. Just take like the best advice for ergonomics. Because yeah, once the pain starts, it's really hard to get rid of, especially as you get older. This didn't do anything. Yeah, don't take ergonomics for granted. Like carpal tunnel is like, I don't think I have carpal tunnel. I don't like feel it higher. It's all right here. And I do have like a wrist massager, and I try to use that with heat. Supposedly you should not use vibration, just pressure and heat to avoid vibration. But yeah, it's that's something that I have to do. Otherwise you have to go to like a physical therapist. I wonder how 32 looks. $32 looks fine. I think it looks better actually. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna set these all. No, I'll just leave them as they are. Alright, so what time is it? Okay, I got time. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm thinking, we need to do some like faked data. Also, like, I think that one of the things that really hurt my wrists was like I was working with like this really tough guy kind of person, I guess, and I was just like shaking his hand to say goodbye, but like for whatever reason he felt like it would have been funny if he just crushed the heck out of my hand. And basically, like, you know, you crush the hand, you like force all these bones together and pinch a nerve. It's not a fun experience. So yeah, I mean, just you know, don't shake people's hands. Just give them the good old Knuckles. Don't do arm wrestling, because they'll do the same thing. They'll just crush your hand. It's not a fun experience. They'll think it's funny, but you'll be in pain probably for the rest of your life. So I don't mean to sound so dreary. It's you know, it's manageable, but like you know, it's just easier to. There's people in worse pain than me, for sure. So like, I don't want, you don't need to feel bad for me or anything, but if I can give advice to people to avoid pain, I will. All right, so delayed. Well, the phone is instantaneous, so it's fine. Okay. So I'm thinking that I might want to like start showing some workouts, and I want to kind of think about like what. Actually, let's go through the code and see if there's anything I can refactor. I kind of wonder if I should start making new files. Do it like that. We'll create a utility. And we'll move this there. We'll create from state. We'll put this in there. Close others. We'll put this into the state as well. For now. And I'll kind of leave the rest as it is, except I'll probably do and I'll move all of this into here, and I'll say that this is app composable, and I'll take an index. And this will be tab content, and I'll just say index. Okay, that does remove it. I actually wonder if this search should go down here. We just have like a search bar. I think that'd be interesting for each screen, because otherwise this search feels like it'll search everything. Maybe you don't want to do that. And so I want to figure out Jetpack compose search.
Hey, Meta.
Sorry. Alright. Philip, what you got for us? Okay, it's a little excessive for what I want. Because ultimately all I want is like text input, text editor, edit, text. No, that's not composed text. Text field doesn't sound right, but okay. We'll say search. We'll say val search by remember mutable state. Can we do string? No. Then on change, we'll say search equals it dot, just it. This needs to be a var. And then we'll see if this can take, can we format this at all? If I do like that. Does it take an icon at all? What do I want? I think I want a trailing icon. We'll do remember vector painter image is icons dot kill dot search. And then we also have to say the content description is search. I guess there'll be a little bit extra there because we're going to say we should get the navigation item. Bottom navigation item. Dot title. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, I don't like the way it looks, so we're gonna do a few changes here to improve it. How do we do scrollable? Scroll view? There's no way that's right. I think it's probably just a modifier. It is. Scroll state equals remember scroll state. What else do you want? Orientation. And then we want the text field to be modified. Modifier dot fill max width. And then we want padding. Usually do powers of 2. I didn't put a dot. Powers of 2 for padding and spacing, usually. Okay, but I want the variant that has rounded. I want rounded edges and a ghost. So I want like a placeholder of text. It says search bottom item dot title. Let's see what that looks like. Excuse me. So I'm thinking that we can remove this other search. And now we can just comment this out. Let's go to these. Here. Save that. And I don't want the underline, and I want it to be round. So, excuse me. I think that'd be a modifier. Dot clip. Circle. Let's just see what happens. Okay, so how do we remove the underline? Seems like overkill. Fine. Is this part of? I'm happy with that. Since we are using a box, it's going to layer things. So we should probably consider using a column. Great, and so let's just say search diet, search learn. People call it articles and diets. So we'll go to state. That's fine. We'll figure it out later. I don't know what's better here. I don't know if showing it here was better or showing it in the upper left hand corner was better. This kind of takes away some real estate, but you know what you're searching for, I guess. And then we don't have to like open a whole new UI just to search. If we did the search up here, I feel like we'd have to open a whole new UI just to do search. That doesn't feel right. Okay, so I do need to hop off for an interview at 12 o'clock. So I'm gonna do that now. just so I don't miss it. And then I'll be back around 1 p.m. Eastern time. Thanks for chiming in, Zuma. Yeah, I'll see you later today. Thank you. Bye for now.